Good morning. How are you today? Well, it's icy cold. It's overcast. It looks like snow. And that would be great to clear the air, if you will. I think we should consider the aftermath of Trump crossing the Rubicon. You may recall your Roman history that if one crossed the Rubicon with troops into the city of Rome, then that was a traitorous business. And Caesar did that. Caesar erat imperator. Caesar was an emperor. And Trump crossed the Rubicon, and he has his lean and hungry people, as Shakespeare described Cassius and others in the play about the same event. And unlike the play, those of us who are civilized and respect the law have other ways to dispatch tyrants. And Trump was found out very visibly because he does everything wrong out in the open, but people don't push back, but it appears finally that they are. He went to a rally with his son, Don Jr., and Rudy Giuliani, and basically got the crowd so excited to march up the road to invade and riot in the people's capital. One Capitol police officer is dead because they beat him to death, and that makes it felony murder. The offense is to travel from where you are in order to incite riot and participate in it. That's a federal crime. To be at the place in D.C. and to do that, that's a federal crime. To conspire with others is a federal crime. And I think people in the White House conspire to make this possible and make this happen. And I think as the investigations unfold, we'll find more evidence of that. You have to be very suspicious about how that Capitol was unguarded so that they could break in windows, and go through tunnels, and be inside the Capitol and go to the places where they knew they could cause the most damage. This is unacceptable in a democracy. This is what happens in third world dictatorships. And Trump has tried to do that the whole time. And Michael Moore said when he was elected back in 2016 that this is what we could expect from him, that he would never have another election. And he was technically wrong about that, but plainly Trump's intent was that that never happen again. Like many people, the day after his inauguration, I marched with women on Washington. And it was a spectacular event. It was the most amazing public protest I've participated in my life. People were all there. They had different issues that concerned them, but one united them against the disrespect, the bad demeanor, the bias, the racism, the sexism of this man, that he could speak in such an ugly fashion the day before about this nation and what he was going to do to it. And the people assembled there were united in one thought, that they were going to come back, and they were going to keep coming back until we got it right. And we improved it in the midterms, and we brought court cases, and we had impeachment proceedings, and private groups won information battles to reveal what Trump was doing. And Trump obstructed the Congress and the courts, demeaning our institutions, because he had only one objective, which was this monarchical arch. And so when they marched on the Capitol and they tried to prevent the nation from recognizing the president-elect, they stepped over the Rubicon. And that made all the difference. The Congress stayed in session until Biden was properly identified as the president-elect. There have been calls for the president to step down. They have asked Pence to arrange to invoke the 25th Amendment. He's been mute. The Congress is going to introduce an impeachment proceeding. And it does matter in this way. If we don't remove him from office, that is, if we get the agreement in the Senate, another remedy is to bar him from ever holding public office again. We also can prosecute him, I believe, for this most recent offense, but also his obstructions of justice in the Mueller investigation, what he did involving Ukraine, what he did in Georgia. There was a violation of the electoral code in that state and in the federal government. And the beat goes on. And there are all these civil proceedings. So Trump will withdraw deeper and deeper into his own foxhole. And who knows what he'll do. We have to be guarded against him. And the rats are running from the ship as if they have this last moment of integrity rather than fear of being connected to Trump as he goes down the drain. We march day by day forward, but we can't get over the fact that somebody in government cleared the way for this demonstration. We knew it was coming for days because of website The Donald and others were talking about the violence. And the FBI has these domestic terrorism groups that track this stuff. They had to know. And why wasn't there anybody there? Michael Corleone, if you remember in The Godfather, goes to the hospital after his dad has been shot, the Godfather himself. And he finds there are no guards there, no police to protect his father. And he figures they were taken away to make it easy for people to finish the deed, to kill him. And so he goes outside with his hand in a pocket and a long coat, as if there is a force there to protect his father. And so the would-be assassins go away. But we didn't have the guard replaced. We didn't have the people who ultimately came, the National Guard, the officers from New Jersey, from Maryland, from Pennsylvania, from Virginia. Not at first. And so they had this advantage over us, and they hoped that they would stop it, and they didn't. And we identified in the House and Senate those traitors who have no business being in the Congress, either body. They shouldn't be seated, they should be expelled, and they probably should be prosecuted if we find they played a role in bringing these people here and encouraged them. You may remember Hawley waved to the group. Some of them had their pictures taken with these criminals, this mob, these rioters. Don't call them protesters. It would be a shame and a disgrace if the investigations ended with the kinds of garden variety prosecutions when a protest goes wrong. Oh, you were up past curfew, you had a gun you shouldn't have, you talked back, whatever. These are serious crimes and they have to be investigated, and there are indications the FBI is going to do that. So we have to go forward day by day, taking what we have that's established a basis to contain Trump as much as possible and go forward with the work of the nation. And we've identified who our allies may be, even though they may disagree with us about other things, who believe in a democracy. Those Republicans who resisted Trump, and in the days ahead, we'll see how they handle the impeachment effort. So, for those of you out there worried about the nation, we have an all-clear sound, and we're doubling down on the criminals that would compromise our republic. So, have a good day. All the best. Bye-bye.